Hey guys, this is Comic Uno and Comic Frontline, and today I am doing a topic video on top 10 Bat Family members. So of course this is my list of who are my favorite Bat Family members. I'm sure this is different for everybody. And the person who recommended this, I forgot to write it down, so I'm going to look it up, is Shadow Knight 26. So if you want to go check out their channel, in the description below there will be a link. And guys, if you have any recommendations for future topic videos, please let me know in the comments below. If I answer them, that means in a couple of weeks I'll either be on Comic Uno or Comic Frontline, because I double dose my topic videos. Usually for Comic Frontline I have them every Sunday or Monday, and for Comic Uno I have them every Friday with my comic book reviews. So be sure to recommend away. But let's start talking about this topic, which is top 10 Bat Family members. So of course we're going 10 to 1. And my number 10 is Huntress. Now Huntress, I feel like would be a little higher if she was more involved in the Bat Family. She's always kind of involved in her own story or the Birds of Prey, which is kind of an extension of the Bat Family. But, you know, she's obviously a really fun character, and I like her backstory of why she becomes Huntress, even though that's kind of changed after the New 52, but they try to, you know, focus it back to what her character was. But yeah, she's a fun character, and I like when she does have a chance to interact with the Bat Family. Moving on to number 9, a very important character to the Bat Family, I think, to any of these members, is Alfred Pennyworth. So it's Alfred. You know, he definitely, you know, Batman wouldn't be the person he is today without Alfred. And he's always there. He's always helping out in some way, either on the computer or, you know, just trying to help them in first aid. He's definitely a member that's important, and even his daughter, I think, is an interesting character, so I had to put him on this list. Now, also I want to mention, since this is a Bat Family member list, Batman will not be on the list. So it's only Bat Family members other than Batman himself. Now moving on to number 8, which is Damian Wayne. I know either people hate this character or love him, and I'm kind of in the middle with Damian Wayne. I don't love his character, but I also don't hate him. I think the more you read of Damian, the more you understand his character, and it depends on what writer is writing him. Sometimes you see the brattiness of him, but you see this side where he's like, oh, well, he didn't have a childhood. He didn't have these things, and that is why he's the brat he is today. And it's other characters trying to pull some innocence from Damian, where I think he is at his best. So that is number 8, is Damian for me. So moving on to number 7 is Kane Batwoman, who I'm glad has been getting a bit more spotlight for the past couple of years. Even the New 52, she had her own series, and throughout she still has her own series again. Her current series is not as good as the previous Batwoman books, but yeah, I love how Kane has grown, and, you know, the origins that was presented in Detective Comics way back when, before the New 52. She's an interesting military character, interesting LGBT character, and just starting to interact with the Bat Family a little bit more now with Detective Comics, and I want to see that even more as we go along. I've been a little disappointed with the recent Detective Comics series. I want more of it to be about the Bat Family. Alright, so moving on to I should have numbered these because I'm going backwards and did not number them at all. Alright, so we're up to number 6, which is Gotham Girl, who's a new character on the scene, who I hope we get to see more spotlight of. I really love her character. I like the psychological journey she's going through, and that she's not able to use her abilities if she wants to survive. I love what Tom King's been doing with her, and I hope she's not one of those characters that are just introduced and not used. That's why, like, some characters like, oh, what's her name? Bluebird. You know, that's a character I feel like, I think Scott Snyder introduced and has been like, oh, some people want to use her, some people don't. So I hope that Gotham Girl's not one of those characters, and she's actually utilized after King's Run is done. And including in King's Run. Alright, so now we're moving on to number 5, a character I don't think gets enough love, and that's Betty Kane. This is Kate Kane's cousin, and, you know, has been part of the Bat family for a really long time with different iterations of her character. But my favorite is the tennis player, Betty Kane, who's desperate to become a Teen Titan, just become a superhero, and along the way is just figuring out how to train and again, just pushing herself to be that hero. Now moving on to number 4, which is one of the most popular Bat family members, and that is Dick Grayson himself. Of course I had to put Dick Grayson on this list and put him as high as he is. Maybe some people would have him even higher, but yeah, he's just an important character. I love that, you know, he's gone through similar stuff with Batman, and he's the first ward of Batman, but he's also trying to be completely different from him. He's the hope of the Bat family in many ways, or at least a character that always tries to look at the present, you know, which is the opposite of Batman. Batman always looks to the past, and Dick Grayson's always looking to the present. That's definitely his motto of the character. And my favorite versions of Dick Grayson is definitely Nightwing. There's been a good amount of iterations of Dick Grayson. Moving on to number 3, my favorite Robin, which is Tim Drake. Now, Tim Drake is a character we haven't seen that much of recently because of everything going on with DC Rebirth, but also they kind of screwed around with this character in the New 52. They didn't really have a great iteration of him, so it feels like it's been a while since we've got the real Tim Drake. But what I loved about Tim is that he was introduced as someone that didn't really have trauma. He was a smart guy, and that's how he ended up on the Bat family team. But then identity crisis hit, and his dad died. And then we saw the trauma just like every other Bat family member. But yeah, Tim is there because he's smart, and I love that. Yeah, he's a great Robin, and a great Red Robin. So that's my number 3. Moving on to number 2, and again, this is just a personal favorite, but I love this character. She's one of my favorite characters of all time, and that is Stephanie Brown, spoiler, Robin, Batgirl. And I love every single iteration of Stephanie Brown, besides what's going on with the DC Rebirth iteration, because that doesn't feel like Stephanie Brown, sadly, but I love this character because, you know, I said Dick Grayson's the hope of the Bat family, but I think Stephanie Brown is the true hope of the Bat family. She's gone through a lot of stuff. Her dad is a villain. Her family situation is not at its best. She was a, you know, teen who got pregnant. She went through a lot of stuff, and Stephanie always looked at it in a positive light and wanted to be a hero, and she was not the best at what she did at all, you know, she wasn't the best hero, but she always wanted to learn to be the best hero. And I love the determination of Stephanie, and I think this character 100% deserves more love. Moving on to my number 1 favorite Bat family member, which is Barbara Gordon, the original Batgirl, and I love this character. I love her growth, and I love her as Batgirl. You know, I like the old days of her as Batgirl. I love Gail Simone's run of Batgirl and her dealing with her trauma. And even I have some respect to the new Burnside Batgirl of, I guess, trying to revamp her character for a different audience. But, you know, Oracle is an extremely important character. And yeah, I love how much she's grown as a character. And I think it's disappointing that she doesn't get to interact with the Bat family as much as I want her to. You know, she interacts with the Robins a lot, but I feel like she's just like the other person, you know, the main group of Bat family members is always the Robins and Batman, and then it's like, oh yeah, Barbara sometimes is there too. So I wish that Barbara got more love in that respect, and also I wish that the comics showed her relationship with Batman a little bit more. I mean, of course, over the years we've seen it, but I think it deserves even more panel time, especially recently. So that is my list of top 10 favorite Bat family members. I love the Bat family. The Batman franchise is one of my favorites of comic books, and it was the first kind of franchise next to Teen Titans and Supergirl that got me into DC Comics when I was little, so these are definitely important characters to me. But let me know in the comments below what you think. Who are your favorite Bat family members, and hopefully you guys enjoyed. Don't forget to follow me on Twitter. Don't forget to like my Facebook page. Also, description below, there are links to my comic book, Like Father, Like Daughter, and don't forget to like the Facebook page of Like Father, Like Daughter. I'll see you guys later. Bye.